Hey everybody, this is Derek, Lucky Vitamin's Category Manager for Vitamins, Minerals, and Herbs. It's great to have so many people joining us today for the Lucky Vitamin Wellness Webinar, Beauty from Within, presented by Country Life. Thank you all very much. Today we're going to hear from Tracy Kreider. Tracy has been the Senior National Educator for Country Life for over 10 years and is a board-certified naturopathic doctor. Tracy provides educational, inspirational, and motivational seminars to retail employees and to the public to increase awareness not only about products, but about existing and new health issues. Tracy is also a regular on several national radio programs covering a wide variety of topics. So before I turn things over to Tracy, just a few quick reminders. This webinar is being recorded and will be emailed to you after its conclusion. If you have any questions during today's webinar, please enter them into the question box on your screen. At the end of the webinar, we will try to answer as many questions as possible. The promotion code will be given at the end of the presentation and will be available for 72 hours. All right, thank you all again, and I'm going to turn this over to Tracy now.
All right, I think I have this up and going. So hello, everyone. What a great opportunity I have with Country Life to be a part of this month's webinar for Lucky Vitamins. So thanks for joining. And, of course, the title of the webinar is Beauty from Within. And, you know, we've heard about it. We think about, you know, whatever we put on the inside is certainly going to show on the outside, and that's our focus for today. So for the next 40 minutes or so, I want to talk about fun facts and statistics about our skin, maybe some roadblocks that either we've put up or are just a part of our lives. And, you know, oftentimes we don't think about a skin regimen, or we don't put anything in place for healthy skin until we actually see something going on. So certainly, you know, there's a lot that we could talk about for health and healthy skin, much more than we can cover in 45 minutes. But I want to dive in and just kind of figure out what are some of the things that we can utilize and take in to have that beauty from within. So, you know, there's a lot of different nutrients that are essential for the prevention of all these signs of aging. And there's a lot of different research out there that shows that some things work and some things don't. So, of course, it's no surprise. We've heard this again and again, that if we maintain a good diet and exercise, we're going to have good health. But people are often looking for that something else. They're like, I know, good diet and good exercise. You know, what else is there? So there's many different foods that have a great effect on keeping our skin supple and having that vibrant, healthy glow that everybody wants to obtain. And we know that there's a lot of other things to consider than just eating, you know, avoiding smoking and prolonging sun exposure. And those, of course, all damage the skin and make us age faster. So stimulants like caffeine and consuming excessive sugar, those all upset our hormonal balance and circulation. And so it makes it difficult in our world to know what exactly is going to work. So we have to look at some of the common complaints that people have. And gosh, we all see something different when we look in the mirror. You know, men, this isn't just for the ladies either. This is about you guys too, because I think for women we tend to be a little bit more critical, and we're always picking apart those insignificant changes. But eventually we start to see, you know, aging occur. It just happens so slow. But there's a lot of different features that start to show that aging process begins. So from the very tops of our foreheads down to those so-called chicken necks, what an ugly term to think about. But, you know, we can't stop there. You have to think that, okay, aging is not just about the face. There's, you know, the sagging on our arms and the loss of elasticity and all the spots and the dots and the growths and a variety of different things that we see on a body that's aging, and they certainly weren't there when we were a child or a baby. So with all of that happening, we see this loss of elasticity and the sagging and the lines, frown lines, could be smile lines. Those could be a lot happier than frown lines. Of course, the changes of color are going to happen throughout, whether it's spending too much time in the sun or perhaps those lovely liver spots that tend to creep up as we get older. And the texture of our skin also starts to thin out, and we lose the loss of volume, particularly underneath the eyes. So that nice fat that used to kind of plump up that area underneath the eye becomes a little bit less and less as we get older. So the bottom line is we need to fall in love with the aging process, because this is not looking too pretty with all of this great descriptive. It's kind of depressing, but there are things that we can do, and that's kind of what our discussion is for today. So first we have to think about, how is this all happening, and why? And all of that would take a whole lot longer than our time together that we have today. But there's a lot of different things going on internally and externally that all play a role in this aging process. So we see those internal factors are caused by genetics, that natural aging process, that we are literally genetically predisposed to certain things that are going to happen. And so in a sense, we could say, gee, thanks, Mom and Dad, for this great aging process you gave me. But in some cases, genetics play a great role for individuals. So on both ends of the spectrum, internally, there are a lot of things that are at play. Of course, the external factors, we mentioned excessive sun and smoking, and we have control over some of those. But how much time you're spending in the sun and whether or not you smoke or you live in a highly polluted area, hopefully you're smiling more than frowning. And actually, they talk about sleeping position. If you're a stomach sleeper or a side sleeper, they actually have a pillow out that is supposed to help with wrinkles. So I don't know, an anti-aging pillow, I don't know, does it work? Who knows? There's a lot of gimmicks out there. So, how do you tell what's good and the difference? And usually I want to try to find something that has some good clinical studies to it or has some kind of backing that gives you some proof that does this actually work. So, shockingly enough, this was shocking to me that aging actually begins in our 20s. I don't know a whole lot of 20-year-olds that are thinking, gee, my face is aging, but facial aging does actually start in the decades of the 20s, and the skin's exfoliation kind of and how that process goes, that starts to decrease, and it causes some dead skin cells to accumulate. And skin is definitely doing something. I don't know if when I was in my 20s I thought I was aging back then, but in our 30s we start to see some differences in terms of the moisture barrier and how things are being transferred from what's called the epidermis, that's that exterior layer of the skin, to the dermis, the deeper layer of the skin, and we'll talk more about those layers in a moment. But the sloughing of the skin is slowing down, and the fat cells start to shrink. So that fatty area that I was speaking of earlier, right underneath the eyes, that starts to start shrinking. I'm not sure there's fat cells shrinking elsewhere, but that's where the fat cells start to decrease in facial structure. And so in our 40s, this is really when things start to change drastically, and collagen is no longer produced at all. So this was a huge disappointment to think, wow, here we are in our 40s, and collagen no longer being produced is massive. The collagen structures and fibers actually start to break down and stiffen and start to clump together, so they start to lose their elasticity. And this results in wrinkles and aging and fine lines as well starting to occur. So then we enter our 50s, and the skin becomes dry, and you might notice that your skin is bruising easily. It becomes more damaged, and you see broken capillaries. The sebaceous glands are decreasing in size, and so the skin's going to become a little drier as well. But then you add in menopause on top of that, and so there's a whole host of issues with estrogen levels decreasing, and again, leaving the skin drier and thinner and even more sensitive. So there's a lot of things happening even beyond that. So we see different things happening along the decades of where we are at in life, and you think, what's going on? What is the cause of this? And interestingly enough, it has to do with collagen. And if we look at collagen, there's an interesting history of collagen, and if you've seen the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, there was a reference to every word coming from some Greek origin, and in this case it's the Greek word for glue is kala. The word collagen meaning glue producer. So the word collagen, is used interchangeably in talking about mostly skin, but we'll learn that collagen is in different areas like the bones. And so they used to use the skin and the tissues and the bones to create these early adhesives or glue holding things together like baskets and so forth. And Native Americans used it for bows. So think about this, how things are being held together by collagen. And if you're if you make homemade soup and you refrigerate your soup, you get that gelatin at the top. And gelatin actually starts with collagen. So some interesting backstory on collagen. And there's a lot of different types of collagen. There's actually 16 different types of collagen. But for today, we're going to focus on 2 that are primarily in the skin. So type 1 and type 3. You may have heard of type 2, or maybe you're taking a type 2 product for the joints. There's many that are available on the market, and those can certainly be helpful for the purpose that they were intended. But you see in all of these, whether it's a type 1, type 2, type 3, they're vast areas where they're going to cover. So this isn't just about the skin. There are many areas within the body that a collagen product is going to take benefit. In fact, in type 1 and 3, those again that are primarily found in the skin, they're also found for type 1 in the cornea of the eye and in between the organs. And type 3 is in the blood vessels and tendons. And, there's even layers, like the layers of your skin, there's layers of your teeth. So in the dentin of your teeth, you're going to find collagen. And so you're thinking about taking a collagen product. Like I said, you're really thinking about supporting the body in a variety of different places. So it's really interesting. And you got to take kind of a deeper look into collagen. And we see here that there's this fibrous protein in the dermis. Remember, we said we were talking about these layers of skin earlier. So here we see how the skin is structured, and what gives structure to it is mainly elastin and collagen. Elastin is part of that structure that kind of keeps us, if you were pinched or poked and you want to return back to your original position, you need elastin. It's another one of those proteins that kind of help to maintain our shape. It's in the connective tissue and allows our body tissues to just maintain its structure. For me, I think, gosh, I sure am glad we have collagen and elastin, or we'd all look very different in our shape. Maybe the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man without any structure or shape. So there's a lot of different intricate components that make up the skin, and certainly way more than we have time to talk about today. But we know that there is a huge importance when it comes to how collagen is structured, and also how we are losing it throughout our life, as we noticed in the different decades. So we've talked about kind of the history of collagen and what type of collagen we need. Well, where does this collagen, and what is it made up of? So there's an amino acid content, collagen, that's made up of amino acids like glycine, proline, or hydroxyproline. Those are the 3 main components that you would find that make up collagen. So collagen is the most abundant protein that's in the body. And it truly is one of these amazing structures, as we learned earlier, that holds us together and keeps our form. Now, amino acids, you've probably heard of these before. If we're eating healthy, and I hope we all are, we should be getting 3 macronutrients, our carbohydrates and our fat and our proteins. And so we've heard of these amino acids being the building blocks of protein. So know that anytime you're getting protein, you could, in fact, be getting one of these amino acids. But primarily when you're looking at a collagen structure, it is these 3, the glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. And again, collagen being the most abundant protein in the body, we want to make sure that we're all keeping ourselves in that shape that we hope that we can maintain. The next part of our unique story, though, with collagen and these amino acids is how are we going to absorb and utilize this collagen? Because it's actually really large in structure. So it's hard for the body to absorb and utilize. And there's a process that they use to make collagen into a smaller structure. And the word is hydrolyze, which is just another name for breaking down these molecules of collagen into a smaller component or peptide. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. But it's important for the body to be able to use what you put into it. And when you have something when it comes to the skin, there's a lot of things that we can certainly hope that are going to work. But we have to make sure that it's going to be able to be utilized once we put it on our skin or in our body. So in the natural state, collagen being a large structure isn't really usable by the body. And being hydrolyzed, certainly making it into a smaller component makes it easier for the body to use. And so, when we think about what's out there, Country Life has been, a leader in this hair, skin, and nails arena for many, many years. We launched as a company back in 1971, and we supply certified gluten-free supplements in all categories. Vegetarian and vegan, organic, non-GMO products. There's a special product almost in every category for you. But really, hair, skin, and nails, back in the 90s, Maxi Hair took off and still to this day has quite the following. And it was so successful for us that we expanded with Maxi Hair Plus and even Maxi Hair for Men. The men were always thinking about you too. But Maxi Skin really was something that we wanted to capitalize on the Maxi name that we were known by. And this has been a surprise for us how aggressive these sales were and how it's been so productive for us. And so I want to kind of take this into kind of a new level of what you want to think about in a collagen product. And for me, the biggest thing when you look at a product is, wow, what is this going to do for me? People want to know, how long is it going to be before I can get some results? People want something that's going to produce some results. And, what pops out first and foremost, what was clear to me, is that 60% increase in collagen. So to know that this happens in 8 short weeks, that in and by itself it is going to either want you to want more or want the person who has grabbed this product when they start to see this change happening in their body. So Maxi Skin Collagen with CNA, the vitamin C and vitamin A. We'll talk about that in a little bit more later. But, when we think about how we want to approach this, we talked about the types of collagen. Remember, those were type 1 and 3 that were in the skin. So that's what's contained in this product. And then, of course, what are we going to do to the collagen to create this ability for us to actually have it absorbed and utilized? And that's truly the magic of how this is going to work. But we saw those different layers of the skin. So how do you approach all 3 layers? And you'll notice this is a triple layer effect. So it's going to have the vitamin C and vitamin A for you as well. So you're going to be able to harness that ability to get into all the layers of the skin. So for those of you who hate to swallow tablets, there's a solution for you. I'm kind of one of those people who like to figure out how I can get my pills down quicker, or maybe cheat in some way or another. So there's a powdered version, which is flavorless. And we can talk about a few ways that you can use that powder, and it could be a surprise to some as to a new way to take your product. So I mentioned earlier this word hydrolyze, and you saw the picture of how they took a large molecule of collagen and created a smaller molecular structure of that. So the Maxi Skin, there's a trademarked ingredient called Virasol, which has the patented collagen peptide. So a peptide is just a collagen unit, those amino acids we talked about, into a smaller unit. And that's the key here. So it's not just the correct type of collagen, it's type 1 and 3, but now it's been hydrolyzed in order to be utilized and absorbed. So remember at the very beginning of the webinar, and I was telling you about, validated products and that sleeping pillow, and that there was those gimmicky products out there that were either, topical or internal. This has this scientifically validated clinical study. It talks about how it is going to influence those different layers of the skin. And truly, again, the one thing that people want to see if they're going to invest their money in a product is I want to see the difference. So looking at the 3 layers of the skin, that deep dermis layer where the collagen resides, we're going to be able to expand the volume on that and reduce the wrinkle depth in the eyes. And if you didn't know this, the skin is your largest organ, and it weighs about 8 pounds to 8 pounds of skin on your body. And knowing that there's all those intricate levels within the layers of the skin, and of course, a circulation running through that as well, so making sure that you're regulated when it's too hot or too cold. The structure of the skin is important to maintain health, and so it's not only about the collagen, but Country Life's unique approach of getting both this Virasol collagen plus vitamin C and vitamin A that affects all 3 layers. So, why in the world are we going to add vitamin C in there? I mean, are you getting enough in your diet? Certainly it's a supporting element. Vitamin C is in there, and truly the hero and the main star for Maxi Skin is the Virasol collagen. But it's not without its partners. I mean, those are super crucial when it comes to having a complete product. So vitamin C alone, has a host of abilities. Certainly it's essential as a vitamin, so it's going to help to strengthen that elastin, that which held us together, and it's going to also help the body to produce more of it. So essentially that maintenance of connective tissue and the dermis layer and the hypodermis layer, those are always also going to be supported by vitamin C. So we hear about free radicals and the antioxidant quality of vitamin C. Of course, those are key as well in why we decided to add this to the product. But, really, if we're going to support collagen in and by itself, we also want to support the body's ability to create it. So collagen synthesis, or allowing your body to create more collagen, is really the vital role that vitamin C plays in skin health. So with vitamin C, we have to find another great skin partner, which is vitamin A, super necessary for good skin health. And vitamin A, of course, has a variety of different roles in our body, and is essential for skin health. Also helps to renew that epidermis, or top layer of skin, and is a great protector, just like vitamin C was from the elements. So great in fighting free radicals. Both of these great topically and internally for skin health. And retinol palmitate, known as the True A, is really one of the primary antioxidants that's found in skin. So maybe you're familiar with beta-carotene. Beta-carotene is a popular form of vitamin A as well. And some people have a problem converting beta-carotene into A. So we use the retinol palmitate, or vitamin A, as another one of these supporting vitamins within Maxi Skin. So both vitamin C and vitamin A are supporting elements to the collagen, Remember, we talked about the different layers of the skin. But here's one of the things that people want to know is, how am I going to take this? What is it going to do for me? And when you look at the studies, Country Life didn't perform these studies. The company that actually produced and researched this raw material did the studies on this. And we were so impressed as a company that we just wanted to support this unique form of collagen. And, when we take a look at this, and from 4 weeks to 8 weeks, the depth of the wrinkles decreased. It almost doubled in reduction. So that alone is something that you think, oh, I want this. But why is that? Well, if we remember, there was a 60% increase in collagen. And again, it wasn't just in the skin, it was body-wide. So we're seeing this reflected on the skin, but the benefits are 10, 20, 30-fold without, throughout the body. But with that 60% increase, we're seeing a drastic reduction that, again, is double just between the 4 and 8 week measuring. And, of course, if we look deeper into the study, it's looked at again at 16 and 32 weeks. So impressive studies. And, the bottom line is the collagen helps to plump up the skin. It's nourishing from within. A lot of times we look to topical lotions to sort of provide that temporary improvement, and they can have some benefit, but they don't get down to that the root cause of a lot of the skin issues found in that deeper dermis layer of skin. So, Maxi Skin does come in 2 forms, as I mentioned earlier, the powdered version and the flavorless form. So easy that I actually just take the scoop that's found in the bottle, and I just place the powder right on my tongue and chase it with water. So for those individuals who just have a really hard time taking in a pill, this could definitely be something that you might like to try as an alternative. But some people actually make it into a smoothie. I had a smoothie this morning with bananas and put in some more fruit in there and some Greek yogurt, and I threw in my Maxi Skin in there. So smoothies, you put it in your iced coffee in the morning, a lot of variety. It is that easy, but if you prefer, of course, you could take the tablets. So there's one unique quality, though, about this particular product, that it's not just about the versatility or what we talked about in terms of ingredients. It is about how much of the actual collagen you take, because certainly there's a lot of products out there, and typically you have to take between about 3,000 to 10,000 grams of collagen per day, and they can't really supply the substantiation of this type of researched material. With this, you're just taking 2,500 milligrams of collagen, and you get that 60% increase in just 8 weeks. So if you like to get creative, you can go ahead and make what we do is spa water. So take some organic cucumbers and organic lemons and mint, cut those up, and then in a gallon container, take some water, put 16 scoops of our Maxi Skin powder in there and give it a good shake up, and then put all your fresh produce that you just cut up, the cucumbers, the lemon, and the mint. I live in Florida, and it's super refreshing to have on a hot day. Tastes fantastic, and then, of course, you have a fun way to take in your Maxi Skin powder. So, and, to round out, taking a product on your skin, what is the choice? Do you want a tablet? Do you want a powder? That's obviously first choice. Second, though, is why choose a product for the skin specifically? And with Maxi Skin, we discussed those types of collagen and then what we paired with it to really make it something that has a substantial difference that you're going to be able to see. So hopefully I can see how different everyone is looking after they've tried the product. If you're not familiar with Country Life at all, I wanted to let you know, Country Life, as I mentioned earlier at the beginning, we are certified gluten-free, and that means that our entire facility is certified gluten-free. So if you have an intolerance or an allergy or celiac disease, Country Life is the first line to be certified gluten-free. If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, we support the vegetarian and vegan lifestyle. So certainly diet lifestyles is what we're all about. We have about 250 vegan products for those vegans out there and almost 400 vegetarian products. This product that we talked about today, though, the collagen, is not a vegan product. As I said, it's an animal derivative, as we learned about the history of collagen and where it comes from. But with Country Life, as with probably most of us individually, we have our integrity statements that keep us going in life. And so Country Life has its integrity being our #1 ingredient, and being consistent and clean and authentic and accurate. And of course, who doesn't want a fresh product? So those are all the things that makes it easy for me to talk about Country Life. Of course, nowadays people are looking for not just a vegetarian or vegan product, or not just gluten-free. They want USDA organic and non-GMO, and we certainly have a variety of products within our line that could meet your need as well. And so when they say, skin is, that beauty is that skin deep, it really is in that deep dermis layer, and you learned about the different layers of the skin, and there's so many things that we could talk about when it comes to why our skin ages and actually looks the way that it does. But, we talked about the collagen and elastin and how Country Life has the Maxi Skin with the right type of collagen and what's been done to the collagen using that trademark form as well, along with the vitamin C and vitamin A. So with that triple layer support, you have all you need to have with that beauty from within, which is really our focus for today. So on behalf of Country Life and myself and Lucky Vitamins, I definitely want to thank you guys for joining our call, and knowing that hopefully this gave you a little bit of a peek of what your skin looks like and the different layers below what you're washing every day and what you're looking at in the mirror. And certainly we know with this type of product that you're going to get results and be able to see that visibly in just 8 weeks. There's different ways that you can follow us if you're on Facebook or Twitter, and of course as well going to the Country Life Vitamins website. And I know that we were going to open up the call for any questions that may have come through during the call, but thank you guys very much for joining me today.
All right. Thanks, Tracy. I appreciate your time and all that information. We're going to jump right into the Q&A section. We've had some questions that have been asked. First one I'm going to ask, Tracy, you can just go ahead and answer this however you wish, and also you can reference any slides that you have already used as well. First question is, collagen best absorbed in capsule, tablet, powder, or liquid form?
That's a good question. A lot of people ask the different forms that things come in, and perhaps is it best in a liquid or a powder or capsule? And truly, powder, you're not going to have any capsule or tableting measure to have the body to break down. Our tablets break down in 20 minutes or less in room temperature water. So I would say, we've even had some people chew our tablets if that's what you want. But in terms of absorption, it really is what is the product made up of. And so I go back to the collagen and it's being hydrolyzed or broken down is truly the key. So regardless of what form it is, unless you have a problem with maybe stomach acid levels or things that you have a difficult time breaking down a tablet or a capsule, powder might be best for someone with difficulty in swallowing, but absorption and utilization comes from what have you put in that tablet or capsule. Again, for us, tablets break down a little bit quicker than a capsule, and that's because I mentioned we cater to the vegetarian or vegan, and the majority of our line is in a vegetarian capsule. So easy to break down and utilize in either form when it comes to this product or many of the Country Life products.
All righty, thank you very much. A customer is asking if there are any hidden precursors or triggers that can cause the lack of hair and nail strength and ability to thrive. I know you sort of touched on this in the beginning of the presentation, but if you want to dive a little deeper on that, please feel free.
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of different factors that could contribute to this. We mentioned the diet and the lifestyle, specifically for hair. It could be the products that are used or the processing that's been done to the hair. Of course, hormonal imbalances play a huge, huge role, particularly for females, but also for males, and thyroid issues. So when it comes to hair in particular and the lack thereof, when you said lack of hair, could be a lot of hormonal issues. But of course, diet is, it is huge. We need to have those minerals, those sulfur units from things like eggs and nuts and specific amino acids that could help. The Maxi Hair product that I mentioned earlier is great in supplying some of those much needed minerals and amino acids that help with the structure of the hair. But the lack of hair usually can come from hormonal or thyroid issues.
Okay, thank you. What is the therapeutic dose of biotin that will produce results?
Well, interesting. Biotin, it's actually really rare for us to have a deficiency in. Biotin is one of the most popular things, especially for us as well, that we sell. It is a huge go-to item for hair loss and healthy nails, just like the other person had asked, if there's anything that could help. There has been some specific results that I found in previous reading that biotin at about 2.5 milligrams a day helps with brittle fingernails. So, having those nails that are not of good health. Sometimes, people are actually deficient in biotin that could, result in hair loss or other types of things. So first you have to find out, are you deficient that we need to just bring you up to a regular level? Therapeutic dose would depend on maybe what else you're taking, because it's going to be in a multiple, could be in a B complex if you're taking that as well. So taking an additional biotin on top of that when you're already taking 2 products that would naturally have biotin in them, those would all play a role. Great news though, on the biotin front, Country Life just became certified by the Non-GMO Project. So our biotin 5 milligram and 10 milligram was just awarded the Non-GMO Project Verified seal. So if they were looking for biotin and a non-GMO product, that's definitely something that could help.
Okay, thanks. Are these supplements able to aid in possibly reversing any effects of sun-related aging?
Cell-related aging. Well, when we think about, aging on a cellular level and how, yes?
Sorry, I said sun-related aging.
Oh, sun. I thought you said
that makes a little more sense, right?
Yeah, well, no, because cellular aging, but thanks for the clarification because it's a little bit different. So, yeah, cellular aging is quite different than sun. Sun aging and the damage from sunspots, the damage that we get from the sunspots, often need a little bit more of an aggressive exterior type of work done on the epidermis. Because that's actually been, where we think that a tan looks nice, it's actually our body's reaction to the damage that we've done. And we don't ever think about, oh, wow, look how beautifully damaged I made my skin when we get a suntan. But that, in essence, is what's happened. And so repeating this over a period of years, or even someone who's in their car that has this sun through the window, it is something that is difficult on the inside to have a direct effect on. And because this affects collagen, more of the volume of the face. Remember the eye wrinkle reduction from the studies. So it really depends more on the volume of the skin, not necessarily the tone or the spotting that occurs from sun damage.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. We had a customer just ask if Verisol aids with dark spots.
Right, and that would kind of be in the same arena. The dark spots could be from the sunspots. They could be liver spots, which have a variety of different reasons why liver spots would be starting to appear on the skin from the inside. So remember, the skin is reflecting what's going on inside of the body and what we're taking in, and how our body, speaking about that cellular aging, how our body is cellularly aging. So this isn't necessarily going to contribute to the fading and or, helping these to disappear. Again, more towards the wrinkle portion of the aging process, and that's how we saw that collagen production decreased at the age of 40. Well, gosh, we got a whole long life ahead of us after 40. So this is more about the wrinkle aspects, not necessarily the when we talk about the texture and the tone of the skin in terms of sun damage or liver spots.
Okay. We have one last question, then we're going to start wrapping it up. So you had mentioned that the aging process begins in our 20s. Should we be increasing our dosages of these as we hit our 30s and our 40s?
You know what's interesting? It's one of the most popularly asked questions when I do trainings of the young, people in the crowd is, wow, I actually need to start taking something. And I said, we don't do any type of prevention until we actually see something. As I mentioned, it's always kind of like, oh, I guess I kind of should have done something about that. So certainly, we're into prevention in all areas of supplementation. It's not waiting until we actually turn 40 and then, just because the collagen production decreased then, we could in fact help to have some of that, we could actually look younger by the time we're 40 if we were to make sure that collagen level is where it is. Again, the diet, the lifestyle, and all of those things that we talked about in the early portion of the webinar, those are also going to naturally help if we were to stay away from the polluted areas, the sun, the smoking, and increase those foods, essential fatty acids, and things that would help to keep the moisture in the skin, and our citrus foods, and things like tomatoes and watermelons that'll not only help with lycopene and hydration and things like that. As well as a product like this, the diet and the lifestyle really comes in key for healthy skin.
All right, Tracy, thanks again. All right, so we're going to wrap this up now. I want to thank everybody for attending, and thank Tracy again for all the great information and for taking so many questions right on the fly. If you have not already done so, please register for our upcoming webinars. For more information, please visit LuckyVitamin.com and search the keyword webinar. So go ahead and check out your screen for an exclusive promo code. Reminder, this code is active now and will be active for the next 72 hours. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. If you did, tell your family, tell your friends, and spread the wellness.